Ava Reyes pressed her palm against the shuttle's cool viewport, watching the alien Academy station grow larger as the vessel coasted along its docking alignment. The station resembled a silver crescent wrapped around a glowing blue core, thousands of lights blinking like constellations. She'd seen orbital structures before. Earth had plenty, but this one radiated arrogance. Varkolan Interstellar Academy, a multi-species elite institution where they refined future leaders and educated lesser civilizations into proper behavior. Translation: they trained aliens to kneel correctly. Ava straightened her jacket and rolled her shoulders once, grounding herself. She could already imagine the whispers. Human. Deathworlder. Dangerous. Earth was notorious for its predators, diseases, and violent weather. In galactic terms, Earth was labeled a death world, a planet so extreme most species wouldn't survive a week. The shuttle hissed as it docked. A voice crackled through the internal speakers. Passengers, welcome to Varkolan Academy. Remain calm. Deathworld species should move slowly. Ava's eyebrow twitched. That's comforting. The doors opened. Dozens of alien students froze at the sight of her. The first was a gel-based creature who blinked like a startled lamp. Another stepped back so fast his 3 knees hit the wall. A feathered student whispered to a reptilian one, eyes wide. That's the human? I heard they chew raw metal. Ava exhaled slowly. Just walk. She stepped onto the platform, gravity stabilizing beneath her boots. A crowd formed instantly, as if they expected her to explode. Rule number 1. Stay composed. Her mother drilled it into her skull years ago. Power doesn't require volume. Boot steps echoed. A towering figure swept toward her, violet-scaled, long facial frills. Dressed in ceremonial robes stitched with golden threads, Principal Zaroth Veldrin, he smiled without warmth. Human. His tone wasn't greeting, it was classification. I am Principal Zaroth. You will address me as Superior Administrator. Ava glanced at his outstretched hand. Instead of a handshake, he expected her to bow, or kneel. She didn't move. Thank you for receiving me, she said evenly. Ava Reyes, Earth. He waited for her to lower her head. When she didn't, his frills twitched, a micro-expression of irritation. Humans struggle with protocol, he said, voice dripping false sympathy. Your planet has no established concept of hierarchy. We do, Ava replied. We just don't assign worth based on birth. A few aliens gasped. Zaroth's eyes narrowed, so confident. Hopefully it doesn't become dangerous. Ava's lips tightened. Only if someone tries to force submission. He smiled again, fake and stretched. We have much to teach you. The Academy's corridors displayed banners of hundreds of species. Every flag fluttered under ambient airflow, except the newest edition. A simple blue and white Earth emblem that hung stiff and untouched. Students parted like the vacuum of space as Ava passed. A trio of feathered Avrians clustered near a water fountain. Her planet has storms that crush buildings, one whispered. Their oceans eat ships, another added with glee. She'll rip your fins off if you look at her. Wrong! Ava slowed just enough to face them. I only rip fins off on Thursdays. They scattered like terrified pigeons. That earned her a suppressed laugh from someone behind her. She turned to see a small alien with crystalline skin, eyes glowing a gentle blue. The girl offered a shy wave. You joke. I like that. Humor reduces fear. Thanks, Ava replied. Name? Lero. Study major, interspecies diplomacy. Ava blinked. You're studying diplomacy, here? Lero's crystal cheeks flickered brighter, like a blush. We don't always get to pick our institutions. They walked together toward the orientation hall. Lero stole glances at Ava's confident stride. Your heart rate is steady. Most students. Shake on day 1. Ava shrugged slightly. My parents used to test me by dropping me in difficult environments. Lero blinked. As in jungles? Cyclones, Ava corrected. They said it builds character. Lero stared. Deathworlders are terrifying, Ava chuckled. If it helps, I'm not here to terrify anyone. Lero tilted her head. Then why are you here? Ava paused outside her classroom door. Because the galaxy thinks humans are unstable monsters. Lero waited. Ava finished. I'm here to prove them wrong. Classroom. 7A resembled a court chamber, tiered seating, holographic instructor, floating screens. Ava scanned for a seat. Most aliens avoided eye contact, pretending to read tablets. One seat remained open, alone, isolated figures. The professor, a translucent being with branching neural sparks inside its skull, flicked a tendril toward Ava as she sat. Human student. Explained the evolutionary factors that produce aggression on Deathworlds. Ava recognized a trap. Everyone stared. She spoke evenly. On Earth, we evolved surrounded by predators and disaster. We learned to endure. Adversity doesn't produce aggression. It produces adaptability. A red-skinned student scoffed. Adaptability? Humans built weapons before cities. Ava faced him calmly. Because everything wanted to eat us. Laughter rippled around the room until the professor interjected. Incorrect. Deathworld behavior equals instability. A civilized species would kneel to established order. His tone sharpened. Next lesson, humility. Ava's spine stiffened. Kneel. It always came back to kneeling. She remembered being 7 years old, asking her mother why kneeling mattered to tyrants. Because kneeling is not about posture, her mother said. It's about permission. The moment you kneel, you give someone else power to define your worth. Ava locked her jaw. She'd rather be ejected into space without a suit. Later, the Academy's grand hall glittered beneath star-patterned ceiling panels. Thousands of students filled the space. Zaroth stood at the center podium, screens lit up behind him. School-wide announcement. Mandatory assembly tomorrow. First-year students will demonstrate respect before the principal. Ava felt Lero tense beside her. Demonstrate? That usually means kneeling. Ava's pulse remained flat, calm, steady. Years of survival training had taught her how to handle pressure, but the idea of kneeling to this man ignited something primal. Zaroth's gaze scanned the crowd until it found Ava. His expression said everything. I will break you. Ava held his stare and gave him nothing, not fear. Not submission. Not respect, just patience, because she knew something Zaroth didn't. Earth didn't kneel, ever. The Academy's grand auditorium hummed with anticipation. Vast tiers of seating spiraled upward, giving every student a clear view of the central platform where Ava stood alone. Massive glass walls revealed the void of space, stars gleaming like cold needles. Ava could feel them watching. Thousands of eyes. Hundreds of species. She wasn't nervous. She was calculating. Principal Zaroth stepped onto the raised platform with a slow, practiced stride. His robes trailed behind him, embroidered with luminous symbols of authority. Around his neck hung a silver emblem, the crest of dominion. Ava remained still. Lero sat near the front row, trembling. Ava, be careful. Zaroth spread his arms. Students and honored faculty. Today, a new species learns humility. Murmurs rippled like wind through dry grass. Zaroth continued. For centuries, this academy has refined those who step through our doors. We teach discipline. His words sharpened. We teach obedience. He turned toward Ava. Approach, human. Ava walked forward, not fast, not slow, just steady. Every step echoed, clack, clack, clack. Zaroth leaned toward the microphone. You will demonstrate respect. Ava's voice remained level. Respect is earned. A flicker of annoyance crossed his face. In this place it is given. She met his stare. Not by me. A few gasps scattered through the hall. Someone whispered, Deathworlder arrogance. Another muttered, she'll snap. Zaroth raised a hand. The hall fell silent. In our academy, new students kneel before authority. You will do the same. Ava held his gaze without a blink. No. That single word landed like iron. Zaroth's neck frills flared in outrage. Human, you misunderstand. This is not a choice. He gestured toward a side podium. A holographic screen appeared, revealing a set of academy rules. Rule 3. Subordinates must demonstrate physical acknowledgement of superior rank. Xaroth smiled smugly. You will kneel. Ava tilted her head slightly. I read the handbook. That rule applies to species under probation. Humanity holds provisional diplomatic recognition. We are not subordinate. She projected her wristband screen, displaying a council charter. Earth was granted equal observer status 3 months ago. A ripple ran through the audience. Some students leaned forward, genuinely curious. Xaroth's eyes thinned. Human lawyers. Always twisting words, Ava's voice lowered. You're used to forcing people to kneel. You're not used to someone saying no. The alien principal stepped closer. Too close. You are here because your species begs for acceptance. No. Ava enunciated clearly. I'm here because we earned it. Xaroth turned from her and addressed the crowd. Observe. This is what happens when primitive worlds are given privilege. His tone changed, louder, theatrical. She refuses to show respect. She must be corrected, Ava spoke quietly. Respect without choice is servitude. Lero covered her mouth. Eyes wide, Xaroth lifted his staff. The metal gleamed with embedded shock coils. She kneels, he announced. Voice amplified through the hall. Or she leaves this academy in disgrace. The lights dimmed, spotlight isolating Ava. Heat pressed against her skin, not from the lamps, but from thousands of expectations. Ava Reyes had faced worse, acid storms, predators that hunted by silence. A training drill where her father shut her in a collapsed bunker to practice escape tactics. Compared to Earth, this room was a birthday party. Xaroth leaned in. Kneel! Ava spoke so softly that only nearby microphones caught it. I kneel for no one. Xaroth snarled and jabbed a finger at her chest. You think defiance makes you strong? It makes you small. Ava didn't flinch. Strength isn't bending others. It's standing alone. The hall tightened into absolute stillness. Xaroth shifted to cruelty. Kneel or your admission is revoked. Earth's seat will be reconsidered. Your planet will be labeled unstable. Ava's heartbeat remained steady, slow, controlled. She raised her wrist and tapped something on her datapad. A massive hologram flashed across the screen above them, stored audio messages, copies of Xaroth's communications. We must break the Deathworlder publicly. Humiliation ensures compliance. If we make her kneel, other humans will follow. The auditorium erupted, gasps, outrage. Whispers. Xaroth lunged toward her datapad. Ava stepped aside with smooth precision, like water avoiding a blade. You dare spy on me? Xaroth roared. Ava held the device high. You sent those through unsecured channels. I just saved them. His frills bristled with rage. Give me that pad! No. His temper snapped. Xaroth swung his staff toward her, fast. A diagonal strike meant to drop her to her knees. Students screamed. Ava didn't think. Her training moved before thought. She stepped into the strike, grabbed his wrist, twisted her hips, and used his own momentum to send him sprawling across the polished floor. Slam. The hall went silent. Xaroth lay on his back, stunned and humiliated. Ava released him and stepped back, feet planted, posture balanced. She didn't look triumphant, just done. Xaroth staggered up, red with humiliation. Guards, seize her! She attacked a superior. Security drones zipped into formation around Ava, their weapons charging. Ava raised her hands slowly, not in surrender, but to show composure. Review the footage, Ava said calmly. I didn't attack. I defended. Lero stood so fast her chair toppled. She only reacted when he struck first. Others joined in. She didn't assault him. He tried to force compliance. That's illegal! The auditorium wasn't silent anymore. Now it was a storm. Xaroth's voice cracked under rage. She will kneel! Even if I have to. A new voice thundered through the hall. Principal Xaroth. A hologram flickered to life above them. An elder Varkolan. Robes lined with violet symbols of Galactic Council authority. Xaroth went still. Counselor Terran, this is not... The counselor cut him off. We have monitored this assembly. Your conduct violates multiple interspecies rights. Zaroth's pupils shrank. The counselor's gaze turned to Ava. "Human, did you strike without provocation?" "No," Ava replied. "I defended myself." The counselor nodded once. "We will convene immediately." Zaroth's composure shattered. He screamed past the hologram, voice raw. "This academy will not bow to a Deathworld brat." Ava looked straight into his eyes. "I didn't ask you to bow." She turned her back on him and walked off the stage. No one stopped her. No one spoke. The silence wasn't fear anymore. It was realization. The galaxy had just witnessed something new. A human, refusing to kneel, and winning. Security drones hovered above Ava like metallic vultures as Principal Zaroth struggled to regain composure. His robes, once pristine, now carried creases and dust from where he'd hit the floor. The auditorium remained silent. Not from fear anymore, but anticipation. Lero squeezed the edge of her seat, her crystalline hands trembling. "He won't let this go." Ava didn't answer. Her pulse stayed controlled, her stance centered. Years of training taught her how to remain calm when others panicked. Zaroth slammed the base of his staff against the floor. "Confine her to the detention wing." Security drones advanced as Ava faced the counselor hologram above. Ava spoke clearly, evenly. "Am I being detained pending investigation, or punished for refusing to kneel?" The elder counselor paused. His gaze shifted between Zaroth's enraged expression and Ava's unshaken demeanor. "Principal Zaroth," the counselor said slowly, "your actions violated the interspecies student charter." Zaroth snapped. "This animal undermines authority." "She must be shown her place," Ava replied quietly. "My place is earned, not assigned." Whispers spread. Students leaned forward. The counselor raised a hand. The auditorium lights dimmed, and new holographic evidence played above the stage. The security feed showing Zaroth swinging first. Ava didn't need to narrate. The footage spoke louder than anything she could say. Zaroth lunged. Ava stepped aside. He collided with the floor. A final frame froze, capturing Zaroth's expression twisted in shock and panic. The counselor turned toward her. "Human Ava Reyes, thank you for your restraint." Zaroth exploded. "You side with a Deathworlder? They are violent by nature, incapable of obedience." Ava took a single step forward. Not aggressive, just present. "No one here fears humans because we are violent," Ava said. "They fear us because we don't break." Silence. A ripple moved through the audience. Recognition. The counselor's voice lowered with authority. "Effective immediately, Principal Zaroth Veldrin is suspended pending council review." Zaroth's jaw dropped. You have no right." A stern expression replaced the counselor's usual calm. "We have jurisdiction when a school leader attempts subjugation of a protected species." Security turned toward Zaroth. He panicked. "Don't touch me!" He shrieked. "I am superior." He raised his staff to strike one last time. Ava didn't move. She didn't have to. The drones tackled him, and for the first time, Zaroth experienced what he had so often inflicted, involuntary submission. Outside the auditorium windows, alarms blared. A shadow blocked the stars. Students turned to the glass as a massive object emerged from behind the station. Dark, angular, silent. Ava recognized the silhouette instantly. A ship, Earth design, military. Its hull absorbed light rather than reflected it. A sharp contrast to the Academy's polished interior. Lero's voice cracked. Is that a warship?" Ava nodded once. "Earth doesn't send diplomats without backup." The ship's transponder pulsed through station comms. ESS Resolute, Earth Space Navy, high orbit authorization. Gasps erupted across the auditorium. The ship's angular edges shimmered as defensive plates shifted. Despite the silence, its presence demanded attention. Zaroth sputtered from where he was restrained. "Why is that thing here?" A deep voice echoed through the hall speakers. "This is Captain Idris Reyes of the ESS Resolute. We request to speak with student Ava Reyes." Lero blinked. "Reyes?" As in, Ava lifted her wristband and tapped the comm. "Ava Reyes, connected." Her father's voice filled the room. "Sweetheart, you okay?" Ava's lips curved, not a smile, but the shadow of one. "Handling it," Xaroth shrieked. "Earth brought a warship for a school assembly?" Captain Reyes replied dryly. "You threatened my daughter with forced submission. We don't tolerate that." Ava felt her chest tighten, not from fear, but from how matter-of-fact his tone was. On Earth, protecting family wasn't dramatic. It was instinct. The counselor inclined his head. "Earth's presence is noted." Captain Reyes's voice shifted from personal to official, military firmness sliding beneath each word. "Security footage was transmitted to us automatically. We will remain cloaked in orbit until disciplinary action is complete." Xaroth found one more burst of desperate rage. "Humans are primitive. You can't intimidate us into—" Ava cut in. "No one intimidated you." Her voice was calm, as if discussing the weather. "You intimidated yourself." Every pair of eyes snapped to her. She stepped forward, not aggressively, simply steady enough that every student felt the gravity of her presence. "When you told me to kneel, you weren't asking for respect. You were asking for permission." Xaroth froze. Ava continued. "You wanted proof you mattered more than someone else." Her father watched proudly from the holographic projection, silent, letting her speak for herself. Ava turned toward the audience, voice steady enough to cut stone. "On Earth, kneeling means surrender. If someone tries to force it, they become the enemy." The auditorium processed her words. Lero rose slowly to her feet. "I stand with Ava," another student followed. Then another. Soon, an entire section stood. Species from worlds Ava had only read about. Students with wings, scales, feathers, crystalline limbs, bioluminescent organs, each rose. Xaroth watched his power evaporate. The counselor nodded solemnly. Earth's student acted within her rights, and her restraint prevented greater escalation. He looked to the security drones. "Remove him!" Security pulled Xaroth toward the exit. He twisted, desperate, searching for some foothold of power. "If you let humans rise, they will take everything," Ava answered softly, without turning. "We don't want to take anything." She finally met his eyes again. "We just won't kneel." Xaroth was dragged from the room. The doors slammed shut behind him. Later, Ava stood near a panoramic window overlooking the stars. Quiet settled over her shoulders like a cooling mantle. Her father's hologram flickered beside her. "I'm proud of you, Ava," he said. She swallowed. "You didn't have to come in person." "I didn't," he said with a smirk. "I brought a ship instead." Ava laughed, tired but real. "I didn't throw the first hit." "You never have to," he replied. "You just stand." "Humans have done that for millennia." A voice approached from behind. Lero, cautious but determined. "Ava?" Ava turned. "Yeah?" Lero clasped her hands nervously. "Most students fear authority." "You didn't even flinch." Ava shook her head. "I was terrified." Lero blinked. "No, you weren't," Ava corrected her gently. "Courage isn't lack of fear. Courage is refusing to bend to it." Lero absorbed that, her crystalline core glowing brighter. "I want to learn that," Ava smiled. "You already did." The counselor's voice echoed over the intercom. "Attention, students. Effective immediately, Earth is recognized as a fully equal species within the Academy. Let today be remembered, dignity is not granted by those in power. It is claimed by those who stand." The transmission faded. Ava placed her palm on the window, stars reflecting in her eyes. Humans weren't supposed to be here, but here she was. Here they were, and no one would ever demand their knees again. Final line. Soft, unshakable. "We kneel to no one." The Academy returned to its ordinary patterns. Lectures, training sims, hallways full of students who suddenly discovered how to look at Ava without flinching. Yet nothing truly felt ordinary anymore. Respect changed the energy of a place. So did fear. Rumors spread across the Academy like a solar flare. The Deathworlder stood her ground. Earth sent a warship. The principal was removed. Now, instead of whispering that she was dangerous, students whispered that she was unshakable. Ava walked through the corridor with measured steps. She didn't swagger. She didn't broadcast superiority. She simply existed with a calm presence that made others adjust themselves. Lero hurried at her side, clutching a stack of data pads. "They're offering you a seat on the student council," she blurted, barely containing excitement. "The vote will be unanimous. They want you to represent emerging civilizations." Ava quirked a brow. "So they want me to make speeches?" "Well, yes. About kneeling?" "Also yes." Ava exhaled through her nose. "I don't want a spotlight." "You didn't ask for one," Lero said gently. "But you have it." Ava didn't argue. She couldn't. The Academy had witnessed her refusal to kneel. Now they wanted her to speak for those who couldn't refuse. Inside a classroom, students worked in clusters, debating something projected across the holographic board. Ava scanned the assignment. Crisis simulation. A mining world is being exploited by its governor. "Do you intervene or respect sovereignty?" A familiar, sharp voice sliced through the chatter. "Let the weak fend for themselves." Ava looked up. The speaker was Varen Kest, Zaroth's nephew. Tall, armored claws, iridescent scales, clearly bred from the same cold ambition. His eyes locked on Ava. "You stand once," Varen said, "and the galaxy believes humans deserve special treatment." Ava didn't rise to the bait. "Anyone deserves fair treatment." He leaned closer. "Too close. Prove it. In today's simulation, show how you handle leadership without hiding behind a warship." Lero bristled. "She didn't hide." Ava lifted one finger slightly, stopping her. "No need," Ava said. "He wants a reaction." "I'm not giving him one." Varen's lips curled. "You refuse to kneel, but can you lead?" A challenge, not shouted, not aggressive, just sharp enough. Ava stepped toward him. "Leadership isn't about making people kneel." "What is it then?" "Making sure no one has to." His jaw tightened. The instructor tapped the board. Team leaders selected Ava Reyes and Varen Kest. Of course. Ava inhaled slowly. Another test. The lights dimmed. The classroom dissolved into a fully immersive holographic environment. A dust-choked mining colony appeared beneath a burning red sky. Workers huddled at the edges of metal platforms, thin and exhausted. Automated guards patrolled with stun rifles. Varen's voice echoed over the simulation comms. "We assert dominance. Break the guards. Control the colony through fear." Ava's disgust simmered quietly. "Not rage, just clarity." "Fear breaks fast," she replied, moving through the simulation space with purpose. "Show strength without cruelty." The scenario shifted. Workers approached her, wary. "Are you here to replace him?" one miner asked. "No," Ava answered. "I'm here to make sure you can stand." They didn't kneel. They straightened. Varen's voice snapped across the channel. "You're wasting time. Compliance ensures stability." Ava scanned the digital grid, locating the command server controlling the mining facility. She bypassed the firewall. Lero pinged her through comms. "You're unlocking the workers' access credentials?" "They should own what they build." Ava transferred control of the system to the miners themselves. Suddenly, all the guards powered down. The miners froze, stunned. "We're in control?" one whispered. Ava nodded. "You always were. You just needed the access." The simulation ended with a soft chime. Varen's team score, 47%, temporary fear-based control. Ava's team score, 100%, sustainable autonomy established. The instructor turned toward Ava. "You solved the conflict without a single casualty. Smart, efficient." Varen stared in disbelief. "You didn't dominate them." "No," Ava replied. "I empowered them." He spoke slowly, like the idea tasted foreign. "You trust too much." Ava held his gaze. "And you fear too much." Later, Ava stood high above the station, on an observation deck ringed with transparent shielding. Earth's warship still hovered in the distance, but remained passive. Her father requested she meet him via comlink. His hologram shimmered into view beside her. No uniform this time, just a father leaning against the console rail. "You handled the simulation well," Idris Reyes said. Ava glanced toward the stars. "I didn't want more conflict." "Conflict finds you anyway." "Yeah," she whispered. Seems to. He studied her, eyes full of quiet understanding. You think leadership is a burden? It feels like a spotlight I never asked for. He moved beside her, mirroring her stance. When someone refuses to kneel, he said, others who were forced to kneel start to stand. Ava blinked against the sudden weight of that truth. She wasn't representing Earth. She was representing every student who'd been silenced. Every voice Zaroth had crushed. Her father placed a hand on her shoulder. You changed more than a rule. You changed expectation. Before she could reply, the doors swished open. Lero rushed in. Ava, come to the atrium. You need to see this. The atrium was full, not chaotic, purposeful. Students stood in a ring around the central floor, not kneeling, not sitting, standing, different species, tall, small, crystalline, scaled, feathered, faces marked with quiet determination. Lero stepped forward and spoke softly, so only Ava could hear. They're protesting Zaroth's hierarchy system, standing in solidarity. You inspired it. Ava's chest tightened. She hadn't wanted worship. She hadn't wanted a monument, just dignity. A student from the aquatic races, gills flaring nervously, approached. Ava, we don't have strength like yours, he admitted. But when you stood, we realized we could too. Another student, metallic skin shimmering, added, you didn't show us force. You showed us choice. Then a younger student, a first year, spoke, voice cracking. They took my voice last year. You helped me find it again. Ava swallowed hard. Varen stepped from the back of the crowd, tension gone from his posture. I was wrong, he said quietly. Control isn't strength. Strength is standing. He extended his hand, not demanding, not testing. Respectfully, Ava clasped it, no kneeling, no superiority, just equals. Lero grinned. So, Ava Reyes, when do you plan to take your student council seat? Ava stood in the center of the atrium, surrounded by those who had never stood for anything before. She inhaled slowly. I don't want a throne, she said. Just a level ground. Students nodded, touched by how simple her statement was. Ava looked across the atrium, voice steady. We rise together. We kneel for no one.